Hi, welcome. In this video, I want to just take a minute just to respond by way again of Kevin Murdaugh and a response post he had put out in relation to his attempt to apply proper leash method when it comes to reconciling the core ingredients I talk about in terms of what's revealed in terms of changing perceptions of dogs. And again, he had put out a video, and he just proved my point in terms of him, how he engaged in terms of moving forward, in terms of Grey Goose being out in front of him, and again, while marketing, attempting to convince people that what he does offers up a real picture of change, which is again goes completely against what I show in terms of what the source of the problem is, in terms of a counterfeit picture of change, and in terms again of just the leash method itself. If you go watch my videos, you'll see what I'm doing is completely opposite to how he interacts with his dog in terms of a leash. And again, you can tell when he did it, he was just upset. It's kind of like, how dare anyone question, my approach. And again, he put the leash on Grey Goose, and again, just proving my point. But here's the other thing, okay, in terms of his response. Now, again, based on the fact that he's not dialed into a process properly, the way I talk about. But when I talk about all these trainers, okay, in the dog training world, all these controversies, if you look at the Jeff Gellman controversy with all these, how it is that all the balanced dog trainers, piled onto the Gelman situation, the Bonker situation, that tried to label that as abuse. And again, I talk about, the confusion, I talk about appearances, I talk about the inability to reconcile the reaction of dogs by way of the relationship. And again, this goes into this whole thing about the ability to do that, okay, comes to being dialed in the right way, okay, in terms of the core ingredients I talk about. But here's kind of proof proof of what I'm talking about in terms of it comes out to certain inflammatory language in terms of the reactions of dogs. And you see Murdaugh doing this all the time in his comment section. You go into the videos, the language he uses, this inflammatory language, and here's an example of it right here, talking about. He says, "What exactly is your point? That I didn't strangle my dog?" Okay, and again, this is very Zach George like. This is the same thing you see Robert Hines, but this is the same thing you see balanced dog trainers who are again are confused, compromised, sold out, turned over, and totally focused on appearances. Okay, lack of depth. And it comes out through this inflammatory language. And again, so again, you ever wonder, here's Murdoch trying to put himself up as elevate himself on social media, trying to come off as though he's special or different. He's no different whatsoever. In fact, you go look at the Christopher Upton videos, you're going to see the exact same type of playbook, the same language, the same video content, the same objection points, the same attitude about leashes, all of it. So again, nothing special, nothing special here. Again, you look at the inflammatory language, it should key up to the fact that he is just like, very much like these other trainers, such as Zach George, who again will use certain language to try to incite and inflame and gather up the social media mob. Thanks for watching.